Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. You're going to have to excuse me if I'm not sounding my best. I had a little allergic reaction earlier today, and, well, it's left me a little not as good as usual. But we're going to get through this, and, well, we're going to be more depressed at the end either way. So today, a lot of information about Assassin's Creed Shadows and Yasuke has been flying around. A lot of tension on what the Japanese government may be deciding to do or not do. We don't know yet. However, what we do know is that questions are at least being asked. You see here a tweet from Grums at 11:22 a.m. on the 19th. The Assassin's Creed Shadows issue with Yasuke and the discredited historian Thomas Lockley have exploded into a potential diplomatic incident. Letters are being sent with questions to the Japan Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry. While the government have not yet taken action, they are waiting for final release of the game to decide, and there is mounting pressure in Japan to address the issue with Ubisoft portraying false information to Japanese children. Video link in reply. Now, I have watched this video with Google translated subtitles turned on, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's a rough watch. And there are times when it has absolutely no idea what's going on. There's this part within it where he's talking and it just says music. Now, the man does have a very lovely speaking voice, but I wouldn't call it music. So I wouldn't put too much stock in how well this is translated. And unfortunately, I don't speak Japanese, so I can't cut through that barrier. It's one of those things I wish I had more time to sit down and do, is just learn a language. This reporter has sent 3 questions to the previously mentioned ministry and heard from each ministry in return. It says, survey Assassin's Creed Shadows, Yasuke, and Thomas Lockley. What is the government's opinion? Assassin's Creed Shadows, Yasuke, regarding Mr. Thomas Lockley. This is also translated by Google, so God have mercy on our souls. This time, we present the results of this investigation. Rather than being an investigation, we first asked the government directly for their opinion, and this is what we report on that. Conclusion. To get straight to the point, the answer was within the expected but unfortunate range. However, I think it's a step forward that the various ministries and agencies have recognized the problem. This way, we won't be left unaware of it later. Below, we share the questions and answers. Purpose. The French game company Ubi is planning to release a game called Assassin's Creed Shadows, but petitions have started calling for the game's release to be canceled and for the games based on historical fact statements to be retracted, creating a lot of controversy on social media. Question 1. It has been pointed out that Mr. Thomas Lockley, Associate Professor, Foreign Languages, Faculty of Law, Nihon University, wrote a book about Yasuke's story, which he created from his own imagination and spread the contents of the book as historical fact all over the world, and that this is a movement to make a fabricated history the truth of the world without many Japanese people even knowing about it. Please tell us the government's opinion on this point and its future policy. That he sent to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Question 2. Assassin's Creed Shadows, a new game being developed by the French game company Ubisoft, is set in the Sengoku period of Japan, and Yasuke appears as the main character. This game company has been taken over by the people of the political correctness movement from the pre-release interview footage. This disrespect for Japan is blatant. The content of the game that has been partially released has also been distorted and grossly disrespectful of Japanese culture, history, and Japanese people. For example, in an interview, a person in charge of the grotesque decapitation scene said, "Death was a commonplace occurrence in Japan at the time, and most people died by having their heads neatly cut off. I would like to know the government's view on this matter and its future policy." And this was sent to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry. Question 3. If it were a game made by a private company, there would be no need to be so concerned, but it has been announced that it was based on Japanese historical fact, and if this goes viral, people all over the world will start to believe it, which I think is extremely malicious. In fact, the following message has been released. The Brazilian embassy in Japan publicly announced on Facebook that Yasuke was Japanese first black samurai, and that Yasuke was brought to Japan in 1579 and became a hero. And there's a Facebook reference. Please let us know the government's view on this matter and future policy. And this was sent to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Answer. The order is Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Ministry of Economic, Trade, and Industry. Although the exchange was done via email, it has been converted into a PDF for easy understanding. I don't know whose easy understanding that's supposed to be, but hold on. We'll try some more Google Translate. Okay, so this one says, to the office of Satoshi Hamada, member of the House of Councilors. I would like to express my deepest gratitude for your support regarding the administration of education, culture, sports, science, and technology, regarding the negative effects of home video games on children. As you have mentioned, generally speaking, if there is any suspicion that the content may be contrary to public order or morals, careful handling is required. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the person in charge below. Okay, and then here's the second one. Oh gosh, how do I pronounce that? No, translate it again. Just make it bigger. All right, this is Satoshi Hamada, Representative Office, Mr. Sujikokori. And I probably said that wrong. I apologize. We become indebted to... Okay. My name is from the Diet Liaison and Coordination Office, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have contacted the department in charge of regarding the following matter and received a response that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs cannot respond to a matter as it is a game-related matter and not related to diplomacy. We apologize for the inconvenience, but would appreciate it if you could check it. Thank you very much. This is thank you for your continued support. I am from the Culture and Creative Industries Division, Commerce and Service Group, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. We would like to answer your question about a game scheduled to be released by French company Ubisoft as follows, which you requested on July 11th. I kindly thank you. Page 23 of the Grand Design and Implementation Plan for a New Capitalism 2024 Revised Edition states, we aim to build a healthy public-private partnership in which the government works to improve the environment but has no say in the private sector's content production. And as this title is currently undergoing ethical review and has not been officially released, the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry will refrain from commenting on the individual game. And they've got a link to that grand design we just mentioned. No, that's the basic important information. You can watch his videos with the subtitles on the way I did, and it will give you basically the same information, but you miss a little bit in there. It gets a little weird. These will be linked in the description. So at 12:33 p.m., learning the law, AC Shadows is now a national issue in Japan. Nippon Journal is exposing Thomas Lockley's lie, including his false claims about Yasuke being a samurai. Historians, newspapers, and the Diet are uniting against the distortion of history, and it may soon become a government matter. And he does have a video here, and that will be linked again down in the description, so you can get to that if you want to watch it. At 8:42 p.m., Grums tweets, Thomas Lockley's resume is said to have been removed from Nihon University staff list. His NHK television program has also been delisted. Rough Google Translate provided below. And you'll see here the actual body of the tweet, as well as a proposed community note. We'll actually get into this one because it's on a separate... This is the same community note as included on something else, but we will get into that in a second. I wanted to show you, however, where that link leads. It says Twitter breaking news. Nihon University erases Associate Professor Lockley's resume and HK deletes program over Assassin's Creed issue. Nihon University Associate Professor Lockley, who spread the ridiculous rumor of Yasuke and Japanese people were the leaders in slavery to the world in the Assassin's Creed problem, has deleted all his online accounts and fled. NHK is also taking his arguments seriously and making a program about them. Will this turn out to be the first case of fever since Mamoru Samuragochi? Surprisingly, NHK also produced a program called Black Samurai Yasuke, the African samurai who served Nobunaga. As of July 19th, the program is no longer available for viewing. Professor Lockley seems to have written a fictional novel about black samurai, but he sold it overseas as historical fact. Professor Lockley's academic paper is 100% fiction, so did Nihon University hire him as an associate professor based on his fictional achievements? Naturally, some people are wondering how Professor Lockley was able to get a job at Nihon University. It would be one thing if Yasuke was black and just a subordinate of Nobunaga, but if these things continue as they are, the story that white people were against black slavery but Japanese people were happy to use them could be spread. And unsurprisingly, they don't like the idea of that spreading. Then you have another gamers win again. Thomas Lockley has been taken down in Japan for his fake history. 2 years to stop DEI in gaming. You can do it. Don't buy Assassin's Creed Shadows. Don't buy Star Wars Outlaws. Don't buy anything on the DEI detected. Now, there is a slight problem here. As you can see, this is the original tweet. And there is, as I said, a proposed community note that echoes the other proposed community note. And when you translate the note, it says, as of the time of writing this note, July 20th, 1500 hours, Professor Lockley has not been removed from the Nihon University database. His name is registered in English, not katakana. Even when comparing it with the information available in May of this year, no changes can be found. As of 2023, NHK's program also states this video is not being distributed, suggesting that the video distribution ended before the Assassin's Creed controversy. Now, and this is what the link links to, and this is what the Wayback Machine link links to. So as you see, these are identical. Now, I went to the Nihon University researchers database. Then you type in Thomas Lockley, and you'll see he still comes up right here. So as of, I can say right now, he is technically still here. You see they have his book listed along with a whole bunch of other stuff. Now they don't know if maybe there was an image before that's no longer there. Well, at least according to the Wayback Machine, there was no image there 4 months ago. You see this is, hold on, let's try this. Do this ourselves. So now we're waiting. Oh, that wasn't what we wanted. That's what we want. No, that's not what we want. Apparently it's saying it has not archived that URL. Then what URL are they getting here? Oh, I wonder if that's part of the problem. Translation may be throwing it off. Try that again. Now that's saying it's been saved one time. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm seeing where if you search this one, it tells you it's been saved 4 times. If you search this one, it tells you it's been saved once. I want to look at what the differences are now. Let's see here. This one, they actually delete the second half of it. So I wonder if that actually really changes anything, though. You see, once again, 4 times between May 4th. Interesting how 3 of those times were in July, and then 4 times today. Or 4 times over the last 4 days. That's very interesting. Now, I will say the removal of that last bit on the end probably doesn't matter. It might. No, the removal of that last bit on the end probably doesn't matter too much. And the difference is when searching it this way, you don't get it because of the EN. So at least I know why that does that. Either way, it does appear that as of current day, current moment, he is in fact still on the website and has not in fact been removed. At 9:26 p.m., Grumps tweeted, famous Japanese comedian with over 3 million followers has spoken out with his concerns about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Atsushi Tamura is part of the company duo London Boots 123 Ranbu. This issue with Ubisoft is now nuclear level in Japan. And of course I have the actual post. Here you have him saying, the game Assassin's Creed Shadow is a disrespect for Japanese culture, suspicion of unauthorized use of cultural property. It started with questions like, is it fiction or nonfiction? Then various things came to light and it developed into a problem outside the game. I learned that it had developed into a problem that the unacceptable historical perception of Yasuke, a black man who served Oda Nobunaga, is spreading around the world. I am very sorry that I was not able to delve deeper into this during last week's Epura broadcast. Until now, I had thought that if it was fiction, it was fine to depict it however you wanted within the work. But I realized that the problem this time was that, even though there were no sources or documents, descriptions created from imagination were being recognized as if they were historical fact. A path was being created for them to be recognized, and that this information was spreading throughout the world. I have never played this game, but as a Japanese citizen who became interested in castles when I was in elementary school, and then in the Japan Sengoku period, and has since developed a love for Japanese history, I would like to speak out about this issue. I would like to thank everyone who has used such clear and polite language to help me change my perception. If there is anyone who is angry that my understanding does not extend beyond their own and resorts to emotional verbal abuse, I would like to request disclosure of information and take appropriate action. Interesting. This fellow says in response, it is bad for rumors to spread. I think the game company should officially renounce that Yasuke is a fictional story. If they try to release it as is, it could even lead to a boycott movement. And this fellow says, I was impressed by Mr. Tamura's sincere attitude. I am also very concerned about this issue. I think you'll understand if you read this. I also watched the show. I could clearly see his message when he explained it to me so carefully. I'm rooting for you. I will be watching your shows and broadcasts. How did I end up back here? The days when games were just a thing are over. Yasuke, who served as a vassal of Oda Nobunaga, is extremely famous. Most of these topics are not included in compulsory education textbooks. Please take a look at your son's textbook. I think you'll find a lot of questions. I was shocked at the time. Interesting. Since appearing on that program, he has been doing thorough research and facing the issue head on. Even though the show has ended, I can feel Jun's personality. First of all, I want the people involved in this production to understand that when something like this happens, Japanese people feel regret and are prepared to convey that feeling to the outside world. It is not something that can be laughed off or tolerated. I get the feeling regret is not the proper word there. I see. I didn't know, so I'll look into it myself. Thank you for sharing the information. Yeah, it seems like a lot of Japanese people are just now learning about this. Thank you, Jun-san, for understanding. I thought to myself as I read the end and was disappointed. How much anger do you think has caused this incident to become so well known to the world? But the TV doesn't report it. This is the mainstream media we are fighting. Jun-kun, I'm grateful that someone as big as you has spoken out. Oh, and here's a video. Thank you for sending this message. For those who don't know anything about this, I'll leave an explanation here. A super easy to understand explanation of the issue of foreigners falsifying Japanese history. Thomas Lockley, Assassin's Creed Shadows issues 24/7/19. Interesting. Okay, so that's enough of those. In short, yeah, they're not happy about it. At 9:29, Grums posted, look what happened with Japan and Assassin's Creed was horrible. Real history was revised and rewritten to fit the narrative of a video game. When they tried to support it with experts, the leading expert turned out to be fake. This is not just about a video game character. This is about how DEI is so insane that they would revise history to support a fake narrative, insulting the entire nation in the process. This is why we fight. It's insanity. It's also a normal part of Marxism, but we won't get into that. Now, I did try to search up and see if I could find anything regarding Thomas Lockley being investigated by Nihon University just in general. I did just do a Google search. I didn't use a different search engine or anything, so my pool is obviously quite contaminated, one could say. But I did find, this is called the Tokyo Weekender. And this is just a tiny little article that they have in it. It says, backlash over claims that black slaves were popular among feudal lords in Japan. On Thursday, Variety revealed that Joanne M. Hunter, the choreographer of School of Rock and Bad Cinderella, had been hired to direct the upcoming musical Yasuke, the Black Samurai. What do you bet they use hip-hop music? Anyway, which is expected to open in 2026. With few historical documents on Yasuke, the story is likely to be chiefly based on the words of Thomas Lockley, an associate professor at Nihon University. He co-authored the first book in the world about Yasuke in 2019. But how much of what he wrote about the man dubbed the first non-Japanese samurai is true? Not a lot, according to netizens. The English author has received rights has received widespread criticism, particularly in the past few days, and has reportedly deleted his Facebook page. The biggest backlash has been against his claim that several feudal lords in Japan were happy to make use of black slaves. There have been close to 200,000 posts on the subject. The rumor that black slaves were popular among Japanese daimyo need to be properly refuted and stamped out. Otherwise, it could cause big problems later, tweeted one user. There's also been allegations that Lockley edited Yasuke's Wikipedia page under the name Tatora Tome. I really don't care about getting that right that much, so we're not gonna fuck around with that. Anyway, I do think that this part here, the part about, and there's more of it out there for where the Japanese are very upset about how it makes them sound like they were leaders in slavery when they in fact were not. And that makes them very upset. I can't imagine why. I think that for them is a bigger deal than the whole was Yasuke a samurai or not. But I can't blame them on that. Really, I can't. Either way, this does seem to be finally. I mean, I did mention earlier in an earlier video that there were going to be looking more into that the Japanese government was going to be looking into that. But it does sound like it's becoming more and more of an issue in the Japanese sphere, especially as Ubisoft continues to steal from not only Japanese culture, but within the country itself. Everything from copying swords from popular animes and manga, and just straight off ripping off a flag from a local historical group. It's almost like they just can't think of anything on their own or something. I don't know. It's screwed up. Anyway, that's all the information I have on this for now. When more comes out, I will be happy to put it all together with a tidy little bow on it for you, and we'll talk about it then. Until then, why don't you leave me your thoughts on all this information down in the comments? I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.